I've been a videographer and more importantly, a video editor for well over 15 years now. For the past 8 years or so, I've had this tool in mind that would just supercharge my workflow and make everything so much easier. I actually met a developer in 2018 and tried to get this project up off the ground, but it never went anywhere. Enter Claude. This software is actually wild. It lets you control and utilize computers in a completely new way. And I started off with this the same way I do with most things, experimenting. Claude, can you organize my footage for me? Claude, can you do this edit for me? After a few weeks of applying small band-aids to my video production workflow, I realized that with this tool, I could build exactly what I've been dreaming of for the past 8 years. So I got to work. Over the past 3 months, in the evenings and in between shoots, I've been picking away at developing this program. And today, I'm finally ready to share it with you guys. This is the Cut Valet. Park your footage, pick up the cut. At its core, it does one main thing, and then everything else kind of builds on top of that. It backs up your footage. You can plug in a memory card and it will automatically see it, or drag and drop anywhere onto the app, or just simply copy footage into the project files folder directly, and it will copy and back up that footage for you. Now, I know there's tools out there already that exist that do this, but I wanted to take it a step further. I wanted to take clips from multiple different cameras and throw them all right onto a timeline based on the time of day that it was shot at. Then the first camera becomes the truth for time of day and all the other cameras sync to it based on the audio waveforms. Kind of like what Pluralize used to do, but automated and automatic on ingest and sync directly into DaVinci Resolve. So you get a time of day timeline for every day that footage was shot. So if you want to find 3 p.m., you just go to 1500 on the timeline and there's all your 3 p.m. shots. At this point, I started to fall into a dopamine-filled feature-building rush of late-night vibe coding and bug fixes, and at a certain point, I got a bit too excited about what I could build and sorta lost the plot. Fast forward to the present, and I've refactored it into 3 main features. And it works on Mac and Windows, by the way. Check it out. File organization, backup, and DaVinci Resolve Sync, still here, still works great. Tools and scripts, these control DaVinci Resolve in the background. So powerful, so handy, so awesome. And smart footage analysis, powering an AI assistant editor, but we'll get more into that shortly. DaVinci Resolve is nice enough to expose a few of their tools to us through an API. What that means is we can control DaVinci Resolve from our program without having to have it as the active window or clicking anything. Super handy. It took a long time to crack this one, but we can speed ramp. Instead of using that finicky keyframe editor, you can just add segments and save those presets and then apply them as a fusion node to add speed ramps in one click. Super helpful if you do a lot of speed ramping. We can create a graphic using Remotion. Now this is something you've probably seen online watching those Claude edited my videos for me clickbait videos, but it is a super powerful tool to create graphics from prompts, and it deserves its own video about it in its own time. We can find a song using the Epidemic MCP, searches the library directly, find what we were looking for, and it automatically saves it to our project file, lands on the timeline at our playhead on a separate music track. We can build a rough cut, color grade, make a new timeline version, find sound effects, create thumbnails from markers straight out of Resolve, automate uploading to YouTube, and even build and manage our own tools to add in any functionality that you want. Which brings us to the AI Assistant Editor, which is where some of the crazy stuff happens. Now my goal isn't to replace me as the editor, it's to give me better tools to help do my job. Pull selects, index my archive, cut down that 20-minute interview to the best 3 minutes, that kind of thing. But in order for any AI to meaningfully help you do this, it needs to understand your footage, when things are happening and what's said and all this advanced metadata. So a lot of the other tools require you to upload your footage, send it to a big AI lab and have them analyze it all through their data center, which costs a lot of money. But I'm a video editor. I have an expensive graphics card. I have an expensive MacBook Pro. Why can't I use my own graphics card on my own compute? Why do I have to send it off to a data center? What I found was that I could do 80% of the local analysis on my own machine. And then when I need it to do the advanced, really difficult stuff, we can just hand over that information to a frontier lab without giving it all this footage and making it do all this extra work, and it can still output a really similar result. So that's where we're left off. I built in 8 different metadata engines, let's call them. And these are all free to run locally on your machine, open source, good to go. No cost whatsoever. And they all save all of this information to a markdown file that's saved right beside your footage, so you own your data, you can keep it, you can use it however you want forever. To me, that's the most important part while building this. Not getting locked into some proprietary subscription once a month, and if you leave, you lose all of that progress you've made. So, with this program, when you buy it, you own it. That's simple. With all of this information, we can power 2 main tools that are really awesome. The first, pretty simple, search and import. You can search any of that transcription, description, metadata. It's all searchable, it's all quick, and it automatically imports right into Resolve once you've found what you're looking for. I keep building this out and keep adding new things because I find this to be one of the most useful things I've ever built. You want to create a match cut shot of your dog growing up. Boom, search dog, it's all there. So handy. And the second one is using AI as an assistant editor. And this is definitely still in beta, but it's getting better every time I use it, which is very cool. But basically, you choose what footage or timelines you want to share with it, and then Cut Valet packages all of that information from those markdown files that we talked about earlier with guidelines and rules, and it sends it over to an LLM to help make decisions, and it returns with a plan, executes it in your DaVinci Resolve timeline. And this can do anything from one-shotting a full edit to just pulling selects or cutting down an interview. Whatever you ask it to do, it'll tell you if you can do it, and it'll try. And since we're providing the LLM with all this information in a really digestible format, we're saving a ton of money on context and API costs, making this actually a sustainable tool that you can use. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. You're obviously interested in this kind of thing, so check out Cut Valet in the description below and think about giving it a try. It's in the cheapest it will ever be right now because it's in beta, but it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna keep refining it. I'm kind of obsessed, so I'm gonna keep building it constantly because I use it every day already on all these projects. And it's not gonna be a subscription. It's a buy once, you own it, you own your data. I'm all about that kind of thing, so. No subscriptions here, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.